So I believe Crow is continuing to cast a spell of healing. So you guys should probably gather around him.
It's within 30 feet of me that I can see, so.
So don't go hiding.
Thanks, Crow.
So as long as you're within that, you should be fine.
And I can see you.
And he can see you.
So anyone who's injured will take 15 points of health. Shio will take 19 because Shio is at 0. So.
But before we do that, Shava.
Yeah.
That healing would go to your hyena. Do you want to be not a hyena?
Oh, yeah, that'd be better. Because then I think I'll be at 0 too, right?
No, I don't think you take on the health points from your animal form, I don't think.
Oh, really? Oh, nice. Okay.
No.
Well, then yes, I will turn back into myself.
Unless you want someone to knock you out.
Me out.
Not particularly.
I would say you could ask Shio to help you out with that, but
I was gonna say, but he's unconscious, so.
Yeah.
Good.
You'd have to critical slap me first, and then it would happen.
Critical slap. All right. So in the next 10 minutes, let me check to see if anything random happens, because that's always fun.
Foot.
Has it been a minute yet?
Yes, it will have been a minute because it takes 10 minutes for Crow to finish casting.
Maybe I like shouting. Okay, I'm done.
Let's do that. We'll do that. Crow. That includes yourself, right, Crow?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's up to 6 other creatures. Up to 6 creatures that I can see within range.
Okay. And that's it. You guys are healed up. You fought some zombies. Kawasha takes note of that, and he's going to be writing down a discount for you when it comes time to pay him up. Let's see. And there you go. What do you guys want to do now? Oh, wait. Before I ask you that, what I'm going to say is it might be a good idea to consider continuing up the river, because the idea originally actually was to go toward the Aldani Basin. However, the person in which you were going to the Aldani Basin for no longer exists for some reason. So really all you have information-wise is that there is a obelisk of some kind, and that this is all south of you.
Yeah.
So
did she like turn to ash from that, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
ash and blew away, I believe specifically was what happened.
Okay, so I couldn't go gather some ashes.
No.
Okay.
She gone.
Oh yeah, no.
Immolation.
So there's that. So I'm gonna let you guys think about what direction you want to go. I do want to remember. I know it's been a long time with us in our fun days, but there is a person that you're here for, and they are very sick.
Yeah.
And so just to kind of prioritize the main quest versus side quests. Hey, Rob's in the chat. Thanks for coming by, Rob. All right.
5 viewers.
What I would like to say is this episode of Temples and Dinos is brought to you by an infomercial, apparently.
Tiger Balm.
Are the people in your life not taking their health seriously? Has life on the open seas lost its luster? Does it drive you crazy that when you open up the icebox, your dairy products are already spoiled? Go down to your
Why?
back alley market on the night in which the planets align to pick up a fresh bottle of void milk. Fresh from the cosmos, void milk comes from galaxy roaming and star-fed nether cows. Void milk is guaranteed to never expire before you do. The people here at Dark Nova Farms want you to remember, drink void milk today and tomorrow. Warning, side effects may include barnacles, tentacles, and episodes if not complete and utter insanity. Wow, I can't read that really quickly.
I've been drinking too much void milk.
Also introducing Void Muscle Milk.
I'm sorry. As a health, care person, void milk sounds like something they would like milk of magnesia or a laxative. To me.
Yeah, it does.
Gotta
No,
avoid those
that's BM milk. I also have that in stock if you want. Void milk is a diuretic, actually. All right. Anyway, moving swiftly on. So you have decisions to make as to where you would like to go. I can be kind enough to offer you your map thus far.
What was the H on there again?
I think it was one of those mines that like one of the guys wanted to go to.
Right, yeah. Gotcha.
The albino dwarf, I believe.
I mean, we might as well keep her because it looks like it's just going deeper into the island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we decide we could go that way. And then there was also another blue arrow off to the right over there, south of Kirsabal.
I don't know if I put that there. I am uncertain of that one. Hold on. Let's see here.
I don't even know what that would be.
I couldn't tell you.
Like,
Where is that? It's by Ishao. I have no idea. I think that's just a mistake.
okay. Like, someone accidentally drew an arrow.
Pretty sure I can't get it deleted. Yeah, I think that was
very important.
this one right here, though.
Arrow not important. Talisman.
Yeah, I'm looking at a map that is fully completed, and there is nothing where that blue arrow is pointing at. So
I didn't think there was anything there.
so.
Maybe not to you.
No, guys, don't go that way. There's nothing there for you.
Well, do we want to keep going toward the Eldani Basin then? Just because that was like the one direction we had.
Yeah. I mean,
Deeper into the island makes sense. Assuming
Yeah.
that's where we're gonna kind of find the answers to a lot of the things we're looking for.
Well, because we just don't know where Omu is. Because that's where we know we need to go, right?
do we know that yet?
Womp womp.
Said the wrong thing.
I think all we were given so far was a black obelisk.
Destroy the soul monger. Oops, sorry, forget that.
The spoils are real. The spoils are real.
Whoopsies.
That's fine.
I mean,
Or is it? All right. So you guys are going to continue down the ocean then. What I will do is I will close this this map up, and you guys can easily get back to your easily get back to your canoes and make your way upriver. Let's see. Whose turn is it now? I'm gonna say that it is Shaba's turn, I think.
Would this be considered a short rest?
You can take a short rest if you would like.
Do that.
It may or may not affect you terribly.
Upside down.
Sorry.
I'll wait till it's my turn.
Okay.
Decide what I want to do.
Okay.
Guess I would start walking towards the canoes.
Yes, you make it to the canoes with ease. You can get into them. You can start going up river. I would like Shava to roll me a d20, please. Good. A solid 10. That is fine. As night falls, you find an easy place to rest up on the shores.
Whoa.
Sorry, just you went a little bit. You moved a little bit. So on the shores, Kawasha and Weed were able to find you a nice hovel to spend the night. No problems whatsoever. Finding food was difficult, but it was doable thanks to Ayer's knowledge of the landscape and experience as a ranger. On this long rest, you guys can regain all of your hit points. Let's see here. And spell slots, I do believe, as well.
Yeah.
And I think that should be done automatically. Let me double check.
Looks like
What's for me?
Looks like it did.
There you go. Technology these days, right? On the next day, there was no problems in the night. You make your way toward the canoes and continue upriver. And not before midday, you make it to another camp, which seemed a little bit more fortified than the one that you were just at. It definitely does not look ransacked at all. It is surrounded by a wooden wall, and also it looks like the way that the wall was built, it kind of has like these the spikes coming out of it like a phalanx, as if to try to deter things from running into the walls themselves. Let's see. How do I describe it? You see a crude timber fortification, a walled compound with watchtowers and tents inside it. It's encircled by a ditch bristling with sharpened stakes. And there's a large gatehouse that faces the river on the shore, in which 4 rowboats are tied to the post. Scattered around the fort are piles of charred human corpses and flayed animal carcasses swarming with flies. You see a soldier at the top of the gate there, and he looks like he was half dozing as he was standing up on the top of the fort. And as such, he's not really paying attention to what's going on the river.
Can I back up just a moment, actually?
Sure.
While we were walking, I probably would have looked to Shio soon after our last kerfuffle. Because Shio said I would explain later in regards to killing that person. So yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Even though under my breath I whisper, oh, I was hoping to get away with it, or not have to explain. But so you know that Scheherazad's a living amulet, or if you didn't know that, you know that now. So she gets a little testy when people attack me, and there was just an automatic reaction of hellish flames and anger on my part, because when I get angry, she feels that, and then she reacts accordingly. That's my awesome explanation.
Okay. Because I have a limited vocabulary, I just know. I don't really get to respond in a way that I might want to respond. But I know now. Okay.
It is known.
Not gonna do a say what? No, it's just...
If someone were to say what, because I'm pretty sure no one has said that around me before, I would definitely write it down.
Berlassen says, "Say what?"
That's the sound of me writing.
All right. Anyway, you guys are passing by this kind of fortification. Definitely with the opportunity to stop by it or to pass on through.
What does it look like there is going on around here? Does it look like it just looks like the fort with the spikes?
Yes. So essentially, it looks like a fort built out of stakes and everything. It looks like it's kind of been berated by dead dinosaurs and other beasts. You also see that there's some decaying remains, humanoid remains as well. Not sure if those were people or if they were undead or both. But it definitely does not look like a very pristine location at this point in time.
I'd probably just point at it while we're coming around and say guidance. Try to put a question mark at the end of that.
Yeah, we could see if there's anyone there.
Something tells me that if people have this much fortification, they don't really like visitors coming through.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of undead here, so I mean, it's only natural to get some protection from that. And we just walk in there like without being somewhat careful.
I, as quietly as I can, imitate that sound that the goblin horn was, and like just gesture that I could make that sound to announce our presence.
I could also just shoot up an illusion flare to get their attention.
We could say hi.
Or a giant explosion, one of the two.
Let's not go for the explosion.
The guard at the top of the gate is clearly sleeping now. Standing up though, so looks pretty good though. Kind of leaning against the post.
Is he wearing any colors that we might recognize or any flags around that are noticeable?
You do see a few flags kind of waving at the watchtowers, and they look like a gauntlet holding on to a sword.
Hello.
Anyone familiar?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I could do a history check if that would be sufficient to find out if it's familiar
You certainly can.
or religion if it's religion based.
You certainly can. Whatever you think would be more appropriate.
Probably history.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay. So, Crow, since you're doing the check, you say you begin to speak, and the voice that comes out is kind of that of a middle-aged man, very that had a voice of import. Um, let's see, and it sounds like he's taking like a clip from somebody that's kind of talking about it, and he says, "The Order is a dedicated, tightly knit group of like-minded individuals driven by a finely honed sense of justice. Friendship and camaraderie are important to the members of the Order, and they share a trust or a bond normally reserved for siblings. There are very few reasons to have lone wolves in this organization, and your god is not recognized in this order. We do not need your abilities, cleric."
And then I point down the river.
Yeah, me and
right, then.
paladins don't get along very well. Actually, let's just not.
An hour ago.
Look at the baby. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They keep moving.
It's just sounds a little stuffy.
All right. And so you decide to quietly and quickly continue your way up the riverbank, into or past the camp. Also, out of character, just so you know, this would not be a good time for Verlassen to only be able to shout. By the way, that's one of those situations. In case you were wondering.
What?
Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Who did I use last time? I used Shava, right?
Yep.
Verlassen, roll me a d20, please. Rolled a 13, huh?
Yeah.
As y'all make your way down the riverbank,
Just around the riverbank.
there is the river opens up into kind of a marshy basin, where you kind of see that there are some dinosaurs that are coming here and kind of eating and drinking from the water and the other foliage around. And you see that there's kind of like there's some plateaus and dense foliage that kind of enclose the marsh around it. And it is currently very clear, skywise. And as such, you see something very strange kind of floating in the sky. It's kind of like a giant rock formation, and you see smoke coming from the top of it. And it's strange because of the fact that it's kind of floating like 100 feet in the air. And there's that. And that's kind of to the southeast of the basin. It looks like it's right. It's within the realms of the basin itself, but that is definitely a major aspect that is strange.
Huh. Guess we try to mark it on the map
Yeah.
that we were given.
I can do that for you. I can do it 9 times.
Oh, dude.
And it would be
At the very least,
about
it's a landmark for us.
there.
Yeah.
I did it.
Map are we using?
Let me share it for you. Oh, did I choose the wrong one? No, I did. What? Yeah.
It's not showing up on the,
Okay.
the H and the blue arrow.
Sorry. It is about right here.
Okay.
Is away.
So there's that. And Kawasha says, Aldani Basin. It's been a long time since I've seen such a magnificent area. I lost his accent somewhere in there. Let me fix that.
You gotta just say the brothers and sisters.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
then everything is okay.
Yeah.
Just quick, go watch an episode of Afro Samurai.
Thank you. I'll just go do that. I'll just pop on over and do that real quick. Did you know the Aldani is an ancient fable? The race of lobster folk who used to live inside the rivers and lakes on Cholt. But it's a childhood tale, so I'm sure there's nothing at all to worry about. So yeah, you guys want to continue on through into the basin here?
Yeah. Do we?
Hell yeah.
Is there like a key on this map? My map is too big and I can't.
My map's too big. If you scroll out,
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
and
No,
then
just the window for it. I wasn't able to get it, so that way I could.
to size it correctly, if you hit
Yeah,
Control.
I was just able to get it to that though.
Okay.
So, I don't know why. So there is this ruin, the Mbala,
Oh yeah.
nearby. We could check that out. It's nearish the basin, and I don't know, maybe it would just put us in a direction.
Yeah. At least maybe there's some information there we could use. I mean,
Because we have the Aldani Basin, and it's huge or big or
It's pretty big.
yeah.
I agree. Let's go.
All right. So to make your way towards those ruins, you have to park. Yeah, sure, why not? You have to park your you have to
There's
park
no,
your canoes.
There's no offshoot river to that river Taft.
There is no offshoot to that river Taff. It doesn't look like immediately.
Okay, do we want to just skirt the edge of the basin then for a little bit, see if we can see anything that will bring us that way?
I mean, sure. The water seems to be relatively safer.
Yeah, I mean, also it's possible that it might go quicker on the water and we can get to a closer spot so we don't have to be
Yeah,
have our boats parked for too long.
get a ticket.
When we get to the real action and something starts happening, go ahead and wake me up. I'm gonna take a nap. And then Shellgraph just lays down on the boat and starts sleeping.
All right then. We could just skirt the edge of the basin.
All right. So you guys spend some time going through, following the river here. And as night falls, there's still some river to gain, but you find that there's a place kind of on the edge that you can get off at. The marsh makes it very difficult to find good sleeping spots. You're kind of like always feeling like you're sinking, and you're always wet. So Kawasha suggests that maybe sleeping inside the canoes would be a good idea. And with the way that the water is moving in the marsh, which is barely at all, it's unlikely that you guys are going to be like washed down the river at all.
We could also tie ourselves to. Is there any plant life?
There's marshy algae-esque things, you know, like the gooey, icky stuff that you don't like getting on your hands and feet.
Yeah.
They kind of come up really easily when you pull on them.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right. Well, watches and sleep, sure.
There you go. That's fine. Who's gonna take the first watch?
I will.
slept for a while, so I can. Or
I don't care.
Go for it, bud.
Go for it.
All right.
I will.
Who's taking second?
I got beer. I'm just gonna drink beer and stand and watch.
I'll go second. Actually, I'll just probably stay up through the first shift too.
Okay. We only really need three different watches. So
I'll do the third.
I'll do the third.
okay. So that's Iron Verlassen for first, Crow
I'll do
and
third.
sorry, Verlassen and Shio first, Iron Crow third. That leaves Shava and Sapphire in the second.
Sure.
Okay. Sapphire, go ahead and roll me a d20, please. You rolled a 12, huh? That's fine. Nothing happens. It's fine. The night goes fine. Goes by without a trace. And you make your way down the river. The only exciting thing that happens here is that the river stops. There is no more river.
Okay.
Just ends.
We park the canoes here.
Yeah. I think we should just then. I mean, it's the same kind of distance to. According to the map, it's the same distance to that location. So, from where we were thinking originally.
But we won't have to like double back, I guess. We don't find anything useful there.
I mean, we might have to double back, but.
Is it still all marshy and gross?
It is very marshy and gross.
Oh, I do not like this idea of getting out of the canoes then.
I mean, the river ends, though, right?
River ends. It is marsh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so then we can go back on the canoes. I don't want to walk through the marsh. That sounds terrible.
I'll carry him.
This is
This is a cat person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This is acceptable to me that you would carry me.
Yeah.
So, so you guys could slog along to try to get to the edge of the basin. There is a little bit more solid land. That way you can kind of circumnavigate the marsh a little bit easier. The marsh will make it a little slow going, but it is perfectly a good idea to do that if you would like. All right. And before you step out of the canoes, Kawasha says, "Hold on there, friends. Make sure to reapply the repellent before you go in." He says, "Throat leeches are no laughing matter."
Yeah, I'm really happy with my decision to be carried.
Okay. So you park your canoes, as is tradition, and you all step out into the marsh except for Sapphire, who is being carried through the marshy lands, and you make your way. Are you going southeast? Or are you going northwestish?
I still kind of want to go towards Mbala just because
Yeah.
it's something to.
All right, off to Mambala. I start walking
Verlasso
toward it.
doesn't care. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So you start making your way toward Mbala. And it takes you it takes you about a day to get through the marsh toward the edge of the land. But before we do that, let's see, who haven't I called on yet? Shio, roll me a d20, please. A 12, huh? You guys suck. All right, that's fine. I mean, it's good for you. It's bad for me. Okay. You make it to landfall, still within the basin, but like on the skirt right before the wall of the forest. And you're able to make camp there. I'm gonna assume watches are gonna be the same. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
unless people want to do different.
Nope. All right. Ire, roll me a d20, sir. Oh, 15. Oh, yeah. I mean, oh no. Ah, shit. It's not even within. Ah, God. Ah, damn. Ah. Ah. Dang it. Got excited for nothing.
Happy birthday.
I just hate you guys. All right. So I will move you guys toward Mbala, and we will see what's going on there. So on your map, it says there should be some ruins here. You see that there is a 1,800-foot high plateau with a sheer cliff that rises above heaps of boulders as large as ships. A narrow path is cut into the cliff face and seems to climb all the way to the top.
Heh.
But it's not swampy and marshy.
It is not swampy or marshy.
For some reason, I'm really drawn to go and climb it, so I'm gonna just start walking up the path.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Maybe we can see. You get a
Your
better.
turn to carry me.
He jumps on him.
Oh no, it's the man and the crocodile all over again.
Someone got a jug to throw a spear at?
Let's see.
How tall did you say it was?
1,800 feet.
All right.
It's like,
quite a climb.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit. It's gonna take you a while. You know.
But I
You-
really like being on top of high places. So
Well, maybe we can get a better viewpoint. Maybe see out.
Maybe.
Yeah.
As you go. Sorry, what?
I just said I'll start climbing too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're going up this pathway that kind of switches back and forth as it climbs up, you do run into many places where boulders and roots kind of block the pathway. And these are obstructions that are easily cleared, but it does take some time. And so as you try to make your way toward the top here, it will take you, or it takes you until midday till you make the summit, if you will. At the top here, you are higher than the tree line of the Cholton jungle, and you are treated with a stunning view of the surrounding wilderness.
Cool.
Uh,
We see like not trees.
Can we see the basin?
You can see the basin. You can see it all. You see the floating rock thing. It's technically below you now. And to the west of you, you see another set of ruins. Let's see. I'll do floating. I'm doing it with a mouse. Give me a break.
I know.
And then ruins. Okay. To your west. There it is.
It looks like floating poo.
Oh,
Can't
oh my
unsee.
god.
And I will have everyone, since you're all looking and kind of taking in the scenery, I want everyone to roll a perception check.
Oh no.
Nice. Eagle eye.
Dang it, that's what I was gonna say. Ruined it.
Sorry, you said perception.
Yes.
I have shitty perception. Dang.
Oh.
Ire and Sapphire, you both note that to the south there is what seems to be a ship wrecked in the treetops, which is odd because it does not seem at all very close to the water at all. And that is here. And that is going to be... There you go.
You could
pretty-
use the key and put an X there for a point of interest.
No, I like my idea better.
I'm so glad you said that.
No.
So, there you go. Let's see, what else is happening here?
No obelisk in sight.
Well, to the west, you kind of see that there's a path that continues off this plateau. And it veers directly toward a natural cleft in the stone face.
Seems like the next logical place to go check out. We need to get
Yeah.
something going here. I'm getting a little bored.
Lots of travel.
As you walk down, you see that there are some steps cut into the very stone itself. And along the wall, as you walk by, this is all outside, by the way, you see scenes of jungle predators and flying lizards and erupting volcanoes that are carved with a shallow relief into the walls. And they make creative use of the natural shape of the rock itself. As you get up the steps, you go up some steps. The stone steps emerge onto the top of another plateau, beneath a once grand but now decrepit wooden gateway. The gates that seal this entrance are rotted away, Only their rusted iron hinges and reinforcing bands remain. In their place are heaps of human skulls, picked clean of all flesh and bleached white by the sun. They grin up at you from the roadway and down from atop towering mounds. So yeah, there's that.
Just that.
Yep.
Just
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna do my. I think it's Eyes of the Grave. Yeah. I'm gonna do my Eyes of the Grave. Probably not gonna see anything, but
Please tell me more about these eyes of the grave.
yeah. As an action, I can open my awareness to magically detect undead until the end of my next turn, and I know the location of undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover and not protected from divination magic.
Okay.
Ah, hello. In the freezer section.
Get them pizza rolls.
Like, buy the pizzas, but not in the pizza section. It's like at the end of the aisle by the. Ryan, I don't know what grocery store you're even at.
frozen carrots. Shouldn't be that tough to find. Come on.
Can you just look for them?
No, I want direct directions.
Hey Ryan, thanks. Bye. Sorry.
Men, am I right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Frozen food section.
Mr. Crow, you do not have any pings on your mini map after you drop that spell.
All right.
But from your vantage point on this plateau, besides all the skulls, there is only there is only one structure that is still intact, and it is a lone hut about 1,000 yards away from the gate and at the edge of a boulder field. The hut is made from thatch, and animal hides stretch over the rib cage of an immense reptile. Animal skulls, wind chimes, and totems of feathers and shells rattle in the breeze, and smoke drifts up from the hut.
There's smoke.
Yes, smoke drifts up from the hut.
There's rattling things.
Yes, there's yes, there's rattling.
Hi.
Triggered.
A creature shuffles slowly around the hut, hunched over in an animal-like posture.
Who is he?
You realize it's a human woman, impossibly old, crippled by arthritis, blinded by cataracts. I don't know how you know all this. This is weird. Her face,
See it.
her dark face and bald pate are outlined with streaks of yellow clay, suggesting the shape of a skull, or perhaps her shriveled flesh, creating that illusion. So there's a really old crone, for the most part, and I've got an image for you here,
Ooh.
coming in hot. Don't be scared.
Hmm.
That is old.
Quite old.
Kind of nudge Kawasha and just like point and shrug. See if he knows anything.
I do not know her, but from the way that she is dressed, I would have to say that she is a witch doctor.
Any poo poo.
Yes.
I'm just gonna start walking towards her.
Yeah,
No. See if she knows anything.
I'll be walking, but from the back, I suppose.
Keep walking from the back. Oh, from the back of your. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'll just be with like probably toward the back of everybody.
And as you approach, she looks at you, and then her mouth opens slightly, and she kind of like rubs her eyes just to double check that she's seeing correctly, and then she says, "What? Visitors? I haven't had a visitor in years. Come closer so I can get a better look at you."
This seems fishy. I don't like it at all. I I'm like ready to fight right now.
I mean, all these bones and stuff. Yeah, no, like that's why I
That's
meant the
true.
back.
My hair is on end. My tail fluffy as fuck right now.
Velocin wants her to look at a growth.
Go for it, Alasa.
For Lawson Wood.
For anyone that decides to actually get any closer, you can see that in her hands, she's holding on to like these different types of earthen, like rooty vegetables, um, things that would look like a potato slash ginger root types of things.
Jicama.
Jicama, yeah,
Ginger root.
yeah, things like that. Um, why so silent? You're not mute, are you?
Who are you?
Um, to that question, she takes a moment and she's thinking, and she says, "Ah, I've almost forgotten. I think I think the villagers called me Nanny Poo Poo."
And where are the villagers now?
They're all around you. She says.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
That's-
Rapier is out of its sheath now.
She says, "Ever since we were attacked, this is all that's left. Just me and my hut."
Oh, why were you left?
She says that that she was on a trip down the cliff face to look for herbs down in the marsh. And when she returned, this is the scene in which she describes a scene that is quite gory and horrific. And she says that the only clue to see what happened was that there were two dead bodies of these. Hold on. Two dead bodies of these very scaly creatures with these webbed wings that were dinosaur-like but also bird-like, and those were the two casualties from the enemy's side that she deduced.
Do I know anything about the creatures that she's describing?
You probably do, right?
So yeah, Sapphire does not, but Ire, as a resident of Chult, you are very much familiar with the creature in which she's talking. They are Terra folk, if you are on your hunch, and
You mean the Terrafolk?
The Terrafolk.
Of course.
and Kawasha chimes in. It's like, the Terra folk. He says
They're just like terrible.
he says it actually comes from the two separate words, terror and folk.
Thank you.
Does she
Useless.
seem like she's embellishing in any way? Like, because, I don't know, like, there's just bones laid all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like insight. I want as much insight check as I can possibly get.
All right, so that's Crow and Sapphire. Go ahead and roll your insight, please.
Because I know she's a witch doctor, but still. Nope.
Well, I'll do this first, and then I'll do something.
Crow, you don't feel any malevolence from Nanny Poo Poo at all.
Yeah, no. She's got a weird vibe as well. She's just, somewhat creepy. That's it.
Sapphire, you are going more with your gut feeling. The hairs on the back of your neck rarely lie to you, right?
Yeah.
So you are not. You don't feel like she is telling you the whole truth, or a truth at all.
All right, I'm gonna get a little bit tired of this whole slow playing by the Nanny Poo Poo. I'm just gonna walk up to her and attempt to intimidate her into, telling us, being like, we have a big group of adventurers here. Like, if you're trying to pull anything, we will kill you. You need to tell us the whole story now.
I back her up. Or back him up.
It's
like, no, I trust this old lady. I'm gonna back her up. You know what? Back off, punk.
She says, "What could a frail lady like me do?"
Time to gear up.
Gear up.
What?
Gear up, dude.
All right, I'm gonna get Armor of Agathis ready as an action.
Wait, sorry, what?
I'm just casting Armor of Agathis.
Okay.
And prep that this is gonna turn south really quick.
She says, "Oh, you're a magic user. Do you mind if I call my children over to see your magic, please?" And without waiting for her to reply, she pulls up one of her necklace bones and she blows in it, and it kind of makes a whistling noise.